Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview. I'm Mark, and today we're taking a look at Kingdoms Rise and Fall Dorian. Dorian is brought to you by Garlock Games. It's for 3 to 6 players, ages 14 and up, and games generally run 60 minutes and up. The unexpected death of the king leaves the royal army uncontrolled and vulnerable. Without a true heir to the throne, the king's former advisors, the Octagon of Supreme Wizards, try to govern. But chaos is near, and there are rumors they are imprisoning anyone who dares to question their position of power. Scattered throughout the kingdom of Dorian, 6 leaders have gathered their armies to take the throne. The motives of these rebel leaders differ, but war is certain. The leader with the strongest army, the sharpest strategic mind, and most allies will control and become the new ruler of the kingdom of Dorian. Kingdoms Rise and Fall is a strategic deck-building game set in a fantasy world. Explore Dorian with your unique character that progresses during the game and lead your army into battle. Build your deck of combat cards based on your playstyle with either stealth, physical, or magic. Start siege battles to capture locations or engage in field battles to defeat your rival armies. Players will negotiate, fight tactical siege and field battles by using their combat cards, and they might even betray each other. The player with the most influence points wins the game. There are some alternative victory conditions like team battles and by capturing the capital. But the duration of the game can be controlled by choosing the number of rounds and by setting a goal on the influence point tracker. Meaning, of course, that you can play a short 1-hour game or play for 6 hours or more. So join me at the table as we explore the world of Dorian. So yes, this is a battling deck builder, but there's more to it. It's not just battling across the table. You are actually in the kingdom of Dorian, exploring, moving around this world, trying to capture locations, aiding in battle from your fellow players, or even engaging in battle with them. Again, there can be betrayal in this game. Trying to collect resources and new cards to add to your deck, gaining forces and power in the game. Now, there's several different characters to choose from. I am going to be mostly focusing on Grimstone because I love barbarian characters in games, but of course you have all the standard types that you expect. You got your archers, your elves, your magic users, stealth users, and of course different types of warriors in this game. But I love the fact that each of these characters can be totally customized throughout because you can upgrade. You can see on their player boards, there's upgrade slots. You have your own set of cards to upgrade with. You've got different abilities that you can add resource stones to basically to upgrade their powers and make your character more powerful. Now, there's objectives in the game as well that you're going to be referencing, but really you're after those influence points, and again, this track is going to be set, and based on how far you want to play in the game will determine where you'll set your end track. You could really play quick games if you want, just to see how the game plays and so forth, but I really like the aspect that it's really up to you how long you want this game to be. So let me give you a sense of what gameplay is like. You have so many options. We're not going to do a deep dive here, but let me give you a sense of what a turn looks like or a round. Now, you do have to determine player order every time. So you put your player tokens in a bag, you're going to draw them and put them out on the track. And for every city or star location that you hold, you're going to get resources. And they have this fantastic guide on the board to tell you exactly what you're going to get based on the stars that you own, so to say. And then you're going to get an event card. The first player will read this event card. It could do all kinds of things. Events definitely set up the tone for that particular round. And out in the world, there are 3 different mines that you're going to populate every top of the round. So there's always going to be resources out on the board for you to acquire. Next up is the preparation phase. Now, you can do any of these things in any order you see fit, but like any good deck builder, you're going to have 5 cards in your hand. You're first going to draw a card from the top of the deck, and what you're looking for here is Garlocks. So you go after the Garlock city and get resources. So if you use them in the preparation phase, it'll allow you to get those resources. There's a row here of available, and you'll pick one, and then discard that card to the bottom of the deck, refresh the row, and then go off to the pile of stones and grab the one that you acquired. So on the main board in the bottom corner is another handy reference point. You have trade stations. This will outline exactly how you can use those in this phase, as well as showing you the benefits of controlling a location. So if you control Bronco, you get to look at an extra physical card when you go to purchase one. Now you also have upgrades for your character, and if you've acquired any, especially if you have the camp ones, you can use them in this particular phase. They might do really special things like giving you discounts when you go to purchase the different battle cards. And you can also rearrange upgrades. If you have any in your inventory, you want to swap them out, this is the time to do that. But more importantly, you want to buy battle cards and add them to your deck. It is a deck builder, but again, you've got the stealth, the physical, and you have magic. They're going to require that you have 3 stones. This is the base level cost. 3 stones for each of the different decks to acquire a card. So you're going to have the blue, you're the red, and the purple. They're all different stone types, which is really cool. So again, that's why you're acquiring these resources to get bigger and better armies for yourself. Lots of interesting aspects there. Now you also have objective cards that are going to do several different things in the game, but you have the option here to get new cards or swap and so forth. So they're going to do various things, but they are obviously going to lead you through the world and give you new things to go after, very thematic to what you're doing in the game. In this phase, you can also choose to destroy battle cards in order to get resources, because there are going to be times in the game maybe you want to thin your deck, or potentially you desperately need those resources. Now, this is one of the things I just like about this game in general, is the fact that you have all these different battle cards and you can really change up your deck, your armies, make them very diverse, so to say, have physical for when you need it, because the different areas you're going to be overtaking require different types of armies, magic, physical, stealth. You're going to be using a ton of those things, and I really like the fact that I can build out my deck however I want to. So that brings us to the influence phase, and any of these actions we're going to take a brief look at. You can again do in any order you see fit. Now the first thing again you're doing is drawing a card, but again, like the last phase, this time you get to use your character upgrades if you see fit to do so, but allowing you to rearrange your camp upgrades this go around. Another action available to you is travel. Now, you'll be doing that a fair amount, obviously. Move around this world. One of the things you're going to be doing is grabbing resources if you're at a mine. That's available to you as well. But all your characters have their base level movement. You might have upgrades that allow you to move further, but you'll use that to go to different areas of the map to try to take them over. You have 2 different types of battles you can do. Siege, which is where you try to take over location and lay down your token and claim it as yours. And there's also field battles where you're basically engaging with a fellow player. But those siege battles are really the thing that becomes interesting as you try to get more territory and more resources through the course of the game. So I like that aspect a lot. You could even have your fellow players come to your aid, or will they? They can send troops to your aid or defend the location with their troops. And if they happen to have their characters within a range of 1, these characters may join the battle by placing the figures at the location as well. But if they do help and you win, you're going to get the spoils, and you'll share that with your fellow players, which is really nice. But one of the key things about siege battles, which we'll take a closer look at, but in general, you're looking at a location, you'll see what it takes to defeat it, and you hope you have enough battle cards to do so, but also you can pull those folks in to help you achieve that goal. So there is some semi-cooperative aspects here, and it does add a lot of fun and flavor as you engage in those battles. Now, other things you can do here is go back and do the trade, or you might just choose to end your turn and rest instead, which gives you additional resources doing so. Another great way to just kind of gear up for that next round, getting you the resources you need. So a closer look at siege battles. Now, one of the things that's really interesting here is that when you bring folks in to help you, they can choose to defend the location or attack with you. You won't know what they're going to do though. You have tokens that you'll put into play face down, and then each player is going to choose the cards they want to put into play for this battle, either defending or attacking, helping you, and they'll cover those with their hands, putting them face down as well. And then when you're ready, everyone's going to reveal and show how many cards they're going to play and what their tokens say, attacking or defending. So after the players resolve their cards in turn order, starting with the attacking players, supporting players, and then the defending players, then a defense card, and only then it will be revealed, and it may increase or decrease the value of the location. And then you're going to calculate, you're basically going to go in player order, especially for the defense versus the attacking, and you're going to see what the total amount of defense is versus the total amount of attack, and whoever has the most is going to win the battle or defend the location. Now, if you win the battle, this is where upgrade cards come into play. You get to draw the top card in your upgrade deck and potentially put it into play for later use, but you can also put it in your inventory, lots of different options for upgrades. But you will draw a treasure card. Treasure card will show what you and what the fellow players are going to get in the way of resources and so forth for that location based on its star level. Now, you also are going to, obviously, if you were the attacking player, put your token there showing that you now own that location. And finally, you're going to collect your influence points if you won this battle. Based on the location, the star value, you'll consult the battle outcome chart on the main board, showing exactly how many points you're going to get for that location and moving up the track. You do want to have the most influence points after all. Now, losing the battle is going to have other consequences like losing resources off your base power, and you're probably going to have to be retreating, things like that. Now, that's one of the interesting things too, is that always keep in mind you need to put your base power and things into the mix when you're battling at these locations and so forth. Now, in those field battles, we're not going to go deep dive there, but they work pretty similar, except it's player on player, and whoever loses that battle is going to lose influence points. So that's something to keep in mind. It's not a huge, horrible thing, but again, those field battles are pretty interesting and a lot of fun. But I really like the siege battles. That adds a lot of flavor to the game. And again, it is a deck builder. I really like how you build out your different armies and all the options. Some of these cards are really fantastic. I like how the resources work in the game for sure. But really, again, you hope to fulfill the objectives that you've been given and have the most influence points. All right, folks, just a reminder once again, this has been a Dice Tower paid preview, and everything you've seen here has been in prototype form. So keep a close eye on the campaign for any changes that still may occur. Now, that said, there's a lot to like about this game. I personally really like deck builders, so this appeals to me greatly. I like how the armies can be vastly different. Every time you play, you can really work your character into a different corner or different path, so to say. I like that aspect, and just in general, how the resources, again, I like how that works. And for this prototype, we only had standees, but they are doing miniatures. And if you know anything about me, I love miniatures in games. I can't wait to see what they do here and get my hands on them. I like that you can set the limits on the game to whatever you want it to be. I mean, you literally could play this and just see how it goes in like a half hour's time, depending on the different points that you're going to be acquiring and so forth. So the fact that you could have a really long, adventurous game and even maybe turn into a campaign is some interesting aspects as well. And ultimately, folks, if this looks like something of interest to you, I'm sure they'd appreciate your support. So I think that's it for me, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.